Hello, and welcome to this segment of our series on what it means to be Catholic. I am Father Keith Labove, and I've been given the opportunity to speak to you during this month of September on the topic of faithful citizenship. As we move toward the fall elections, it is not my goal to tell you how to vote, nor is it my goal to endorse anyone or anything except the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ and the social teaching of the Catholic Church. I'll be presenting some fundamental principles of that social teaching. It is my hope that these principles will help you in forming your own conscience as a guide for your involvement in the political process. Central to these reflections is a document that the U.S. bishops have revised and reissued every 4 years since 1976, entitled Forming Consciences for Faithful Citizenship. It is freely available on the U.S. Bishop's website, and I recommend reading it. I will only be able to highlight a few main points over the next few weeks. That document, Faithful Citizenship, covers a lot of ground. It describes how important it is that people of faith be involved and engaged in the political process in our country. The bishops affirm that the faith-filled voice of the Church is essential to the political conversation that takes place in the public square. Probably most significant is the simple truth that we cannot leave our faith behind at the door of the voting booth. Not only must we take seriously our civic responsibility as citizens, but we must also make sure that the choices we make are formed and guided by our faith. As the document has been revised from election to election, we've seen more of church teaching included in the document. In addition, the document has a section that attempts to speak to the particular issues of the day. Because of this, the document addresses thoughts and ideas that are both changing and unchanging. The fundamental social teaching of the Church, rooted in the gospel, is of course constant. So the document highlights the importance of 4 basic principles: the dignity of the human person, the common good, subsidiarity, and solidarity. These principles provide a framework for what we call a consistent ethic of life. However, when it comes to applying those principles to specific issues, the focus will change over time depending on the particular challenges that happen to face our church and our nation. For example, in recent years, we have seen more attention given to the call to care for our environment as threats against clean air and clean water have increased due to human activity. The threats to innocent human life remain constant even as the family and religious freedom become challenged in new ways. Yet, even as the issues may shift in importance, the fundamental teaching remains the same. The bishop's document also recognizes that exercising faithful citizenship often presents us with hard choices. There is no perfect candidate or perfect political party. With that in mind, the document warns us against 2 dangers. We must never lose sight of the fact that some actions are never justifiable, especially attacks against innocent human life such as abortion and euthanasia. These kinds of immoral choices must always be opposed. The second danger would be to let these attacks on human life blind us to other real threats to human dignity, such as racism, the death penalty, unjust war, the use of torture, hunger, poverty, and a lack of respect for human persons. These threats must be opposed as well. It is for this reason that the bishop's document speaks of conscience and prudence. Each of us must be attentive to forming our own consciences in accord with the broad scope of Catholic social teaching. The virtue of prudence will assist us in balancing the choices we must make as we seek to avoid evil and to promote the good. That well-formed conscience will guide us in prudently making choices that protect life while building a more just and peaceful world. The document says in section 37, in making these decisions, it is essential for Catholics to be guided by a well-formed conscience that recognizes that all issues do not carry the same moral weight, and that the moral obligation to oppose policies promoting intrinsically evil acts has a special claim on our consciences and on our actions. These decisions should take into account a candidate's commitments, character, integrity, and ability to influence a given issue. In the end, this is a decision to be made by each Catholic, guided by conscience, formed by Catholic moral teaching. Our nation was founded on the truth that all persons are created equal. At the same time, the reality of many people's lives over the centuries has often been marked more by a lack of equality, especially with our history of slavery and racism. Yet Americans do continue to see equality as a value for our political life. The gospel, on the other hand, often calls us to go beyond equality as we strive to imitate Jesus. It was Jesus himself who taught us, "Whatsoever you do to the least of these, you do unto me." Therefore, Catholic social teaching embraces a preferential option for the poor, seeking to stand with those who are most likely to be denied the goods of society. We strive to go beyond equality to justice. Next time, we shall explore the importance of building up the common good as the proper goal of every government.